Hello everybody and welcome back to the Dayspring Barn, and this is Saturday morning with the Dayspring dancers. Today we're going to talk about something that is very important, and the movement is called releve. Very basic movement, but yet there's a lot involved in it in order to do it properly and to do it safely. So we're going to discuss what is a releve. All right, releve, it's a French word which means to raise, to rise, to come up higher. So when we speak of releve, we can be speaking of one of two things. We can be speaking of actually rising up on the balls of our feet from a whole foot and rising up higher to the balls of your feet. You can do a releve on 2 feet, 1 foot, or with a plie, or without a plie. Also, releve can mean to have an outstretched leg and to raise it. But we're not going to talk about raising a leg today. We don't want to do that much work today, right, ladies? Let's just talk about rising up onto the ball of the foot, which is called demi-point. So we're going from whole foot to demi-point. And when you go up to demi-point, we want to take it up as high as we can go. We're not taking these little quarter demi-points, these little halfway up. We're going to go up as high as we can go, keeping 5 toes on the floor. Now, let me explain to you how this is done properly. First and foremost, we've already discussed how we stand in a, well, actually, not just a dance class. We should be standing this way 24/7. Every time our feet hit the ground, we need to understand a basic stance to help us with our alignment, so that will help prevent inflammation in our joints. So what we need to do is we're standing with legs under the hips. So let's see some basic stance going on here. Shoulders are slightly pressed down and the chest is open, but yet we are flat on the back. What are these? Shoulder blades. They're not crunched together. Pelvis is down, and we have like this thick belt around our torso here, pulling those ribs together, and just, you're lifted. Just think lifting. You're making space between the vertebrae. You're making space, and you want to make sure you're not sinking and doing weird things with your body. We want to keep up, fighting gravity 24/7. One of my mentors, Luigi, he always said, I'm fighting gravity here. And in his 80s, he was still dancing beautifully. But he knew the basic stance. He was an expert. Anyway, so going on, we also need to understand the principles behind a demi-plie. We've been through that before, how we need to keep the thighs engaged, the knees over the toes as we bend the knees. So do not attempt to do a releve if you don't understand the basic stance and you don't understand how to do a proper demi-plie. Go back to our previous videos and do that and practice that first. Once you get that down, then we can talk about raising ourselves up a little higher. Same thing works in our spiritual walk, right? We've got to get the basic principles, the basics. We've got to get grounded in spiritual disciplines with the Lord before we ever can be used at higher levels with Him. Because if we don't have the basics, what happens? We're off balance. We might fall into somebody, hurt ourselves, or you know what? You might just look really weird doing it. So we want to make sure we got the basics down before we go higher. So let's discuss how to do or how to train a releve. We've been through basic stance, we've been through demi-plie. Now let's go through the actual movement to be raised higher. So let's stand with our dancers will demonstrate. I'm going to stand with the legs underneath the hips. You're not going to see my feet, but you'll see them. And from there, they're checking their basic stance. And what we can do to train this, the first thing you do is a slow rise. And you're making sure as you raise yourself up to the demi-point that your weight, all 5 toes on the floor, weight evenly distributed, and the weight is to the center of the ball of the foot. The center of the metatarsal is not favoring the outside or the inside. All 5 toes on the floor, and we take this very slow. We take 4 beats just to go up, just to keep checking what our feet are doing. And then we hang out there for 2 more beats, and then we're going to slowly lower the heels. And that's how you train for a releve. So without music, we're just gonna show you how the training goes. First, you start in a parallel position and we place the fingertips on top of the bar, no gripping the bar. No, no, no. We've got to keep those fingers relaxed. Practice keeping fingers relaxed as your body is in movement while you're at the bar. So now, we slowly are gonna rise on the count of 1, ladies. Ready? And rise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it there. 5, 6, rolling down to the center of the ball of foot. 7 and 8 without bending the knees. That's the first thing that you would do, and you would do that over and over and over again. You are training yourself to go up on the middle of the foot. You're strengthening your calves as well. Try it 100 times, see how it feels. Next step is we do a demi-plie before we take the rise. All right, so now we get our basic stance on, and we practice demi-plie. What we're going to do is going to do a demi-plie, 1, 2, and slowly rise up, 3, 4, hold the 5, 6, and come down, 7, 8, demi-plie, again, 1, 2, and stretch, 3, 4. So it's going to take 12 beats to get through this exercise. Here we go, 5, 6, 7, 8, demi-plie, 1, engage the thighs, 2, stretch up, 3, and 4, hold 5, hold 6, lower the heel 7, 8, back into that demi-plie, 2, stretch, 3, and 4. All right, and that's with parallel feet. So when your feet are parallel, make sure the legs are underneath the hips. We don't want them touching. They are slightly separated. Watch that the knees aren't knobbing together, knocking together here, but that there's a straight alignment. Really watch those knees, very important, especially on your landing. Don't go into old habits. I used to do that and I got a terrible injury in my knee once. You've got to land and make sure those knees are properly aligned on the landing. All right, next step, once you get that down, so we start with parallel feet with our knees stretched, and then we go into a demi-plie. Now we're gonna take the next level up. You put your heels together and toes slightly apart, and you're going to use a turnout to practice releve. Now in a releve, again, in this position, this is first position, without the bend. No bend of the knees, we're just going to practice going up and down while maintaining the turnout. We are not going to let those heels slip back on the rise. We're going to keep them forward, and we are not going to let those heels slip back on the descent. You've got to use this inner thigh and keep pulling those heels forward on the descent. It's just an amazing feeling. You never knew the sartorius was there until you use it when you descend out of a releve. So again, we're going to practice going up 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to hold it up there 5, 6, and then we're going to practice coming down 7, 8, and really engage the inner thigh as you lower down so that those heels don't escape to the back. Are we ready? Basic stance, heels together, toes out. Ready? On the count of 1, basic stance. Shoulders down and up. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Hold it there. 5, 6. Roll down. 7, 8. Did you guys feel the inner thigh working to keep those heels? They stayed. That was really good. So you want to make sure the heels are actually touching. Right? Don't let them come apart. Touch. Some of us are hyperextended and our heels kind of come apart. Don't let that happen. The way to combat that is to get those heels to touch and then engage the thigh and hold it there. Pull up on the thigh. So now we're training that leg not to hyperextend. We don't want that. Not good. Gives you all kinds of injuries in your Achilles. We don't want that to happen. All right, next step. We're going to take a demi-plie. And we're going to do the same counts. Demi-plie. 1, 2. Stretch up 3, 4. Hold the 5, 6. Roll down 7, 8, then take that demi-plie again. So it's a here and a up and a here and up. And you're actually training your body how to take off for a jump and how to land safely for a jump. These exercises might seem tedious, but they are so important to perfect and to just get into your muscle memory. Because if you're looking to do jumps, If you're looking to do balances and turns, these exercises will serve you well. They will serve you well, and you'll be very consistent, and you'll be clear in your movement vocabulary. We are trying, after all, as worship dancers, to communicate something to the audience, to those who are looking on, to the worshipers. And we don't want to communicate a spirit of fear, confusion, turmoil, or disaster. We want to communicate, the body of Christ is supposed to be a bride without spot or wrinkle, with walking in purpose. We have scrolls that are written in heaven. So every step has a purpose in our lives. We're not looking confused. But it does take the basic trainings. So here we go. Let's do the demi-plie. First position, heels together, toes out, pulling up on the thighs. And I forgot to mention breath, very important. We're inhaling on this demi-plie, all right? And as we do the releve, as I'm coming out of the demi-plie, I am doing an exhale, but as I'm rising, I'm inhaling again. Inhale to keep my chest lifted. Exhale, inhale, and down. So the important thing is we don't want to collapse here, all right? Upward movements, like when you're jumping, we want to fill those lungs as well. So here we go, ladies. Ready? And demi-plie. Or 1 and 2. Stretch up. 3, 4. Hold it there. 5, hold, 6, roll it down to the heels, 7, 8, and then right into that demi-plie, 1, using those thighs, and stretch up, 3 and 4. Now that's a slow releve. Faster releve on 2 feet is the same thing, but it looks like this, and you will demonstrate it as well. We're going to demi-plie 1, up, 2, down, 3, stretch, 4. 1, up, 2, 3, but you don't do that tempo until you have the other tempos perfected. So ladies, are you ready to try that? First position, here we go. And this is more like a jump. You're gonna feel like, oh, okay, now I see why we've been practicing this. This is gonna feel like an exercise for a jump. It's got that lift to it. Ready? 5, 4 beats, down, then up, then down. So we're doing releves in first position in isolation, meaning we're going to stretch the knees after each releve. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. Stretch. And a 1, 2, 3, and stretch. And never let go of the thighs. We don't collapse. But see, you're working your metatarsals, everything is working, and that is the releve exercise. Any of you have any insights, questions?
Don't forget the book.
Oh my goodness, there's so much I forgot. I forgot to say, like, comment with any questions you might have. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, and share. If anything else I missed, the books. Oh, let me show you these books. If you are doing this exercise and you notice that your ankles are really wobbly, no good. You got to strengthen those ankles. The best exercise to do, I'm so happy you said that, Karen, thank you. The best exercise to do to start out with would be in that parallel position and that slow rise, checking your ankles, and just keep them straight. Now, if you absolutely cannot keep your ankles from doing all this as you're taking the rise, it means we need to work on it. Let me see. There's a book, Dancing Longer. Yeah, can you see that? Dancing Longer, Dancing Stronger. I have used this book for many years. They have exercises in it that are awesome. If you want to, there's a very simple exercise to help your ankles. You can lay on your back, your feet up in the air, and then you just make the alphabet in the air. Go through the alphabet with cursive writing. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Do that on each foot. And so you're working all those muscles in the ankle. Then what you need to do, depending, if you're going, very valuable piece of equipment here. This, what do they call them? TheraBands, bands, just little tension bands. Oh, this is gonna be fun trying to show you this. You put it around your foot. All right, years of dance training, you can do this. But you know, you just want to go back and forth with tension on that band until you feel the muscle working. So get that book, Dancing Longer, Dancing Stronger, and they give very specific exercises. They go through it much more detail than I just gave you. But there are things that can be done to strengthen the ankle. All right, have I forgotten anything else? I think we covered it. Yeah. So there you go. Saturday mornings with the Dayspring dancers, and we will be going live later on this spring. So yeah, make sure you tune in, and till we see you next time, have a good one.